Hey, how's it going, folks? My name is Jason Gutierrez. You could call me Mr. G, and this will be a Gutierrez math session. Today, we'll be using this formula to solve the percent of a number. The formula reads percent over 100 equals is over of. Well, you might ask yourself, how are we going to use this to help us solve a math equation? For example, you may be at a restaurant and you get a check of, let's say, $103, right? How are you going to solve what is 15% that you have to tip your waiter or waitress of your $103, right? So let's ask ourselves right here. So the question is, right? It's going to be what is 15%? Because that's the minimum, folks. 15% of, let's say you go on a dinner date and the check is $103. So what is 15% of $103? Well, let's use our formula. So let's plug it right in. So we're going to say the percent up here is going to be filled in by this percent right here. So 15 over 100. This 100 right here stays constant, never changes. Only these are to be manipulated. Carrier equal sign is, what is 15% of 103? We don't quite know what is, so we're going to use a variable. We're going to use x. And we do know what of is because we're trying to solve what our check was, which was $103. So we could just say 103. Great, we've plugged in our equation into our formula. Now all we must do is cross multiply. So 100 times x is 100x. And 103 times 15 is, well, we're going to have to solve that. You guys could solve on your calculator if you like. I'm just going to multiply 103 times 15. And so 5 times 3 is 15. I'm going to regroup the 1 up there. Carry the 5 down here. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, and 5 times 1 is 5. Great. Now 1 times 3 is, oh, we're going to add this 0. I'm sorry about that. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 0 is 0. And 1 times 1 is 1. So we're going to add this. This is going to be 5. 1 plus 3 is 4. 5 plus 0 is 5. And carry the 1 down. So we are telling ourselves that 103 multiplied by 15 is in fact 1,545. Correct. We're going to take this number, bring it back over here. And now we're going to solve for x. So this is a bit of algebra. How do you isolate x? See, 100 is being multiplied to x right here. The opposite of multiplication is division, so that is how we're going to isolate this x. We're going to multiply it by 100 because this is going to cancel out. And we're going to be left with x, which is good. That means we're solving. On the other hand, in algebra, what you do to one side, you do to the other. So now we're going to have to divide 1,545 by 100. So now, we're going to divide manually. Again, you could do it on your calculator if you like. I'll do it manually for you. I'm just going to make some space here. Let's get this out of here. Great. 100 into 1,545. We know it's not going to go evenly, which is okay because we could always round. 100 cannot go into 1, it cannot go into 15, but it can go into 154 one time. And we're going to subtract. So 154 minus 100, folks, is 54. And 100 cannot go into 54, so we're going to bring this 5 down. 100 goes into 545 5 times. Awesome. 500. We know 5 times 100 is 500. Numbers are getting a bit choppy here. Sorry about that. And we're going to subtract that, which is 45. Okay. 100 cannot go into 45. So let's bring a little decimal down here. Add a 0. And let's bring this down. So 100 goes into 450 4 times. Right? And that's all we need. So let's just say 15.4. Right? Awesome. Okay. So from here, we've solved. Our final answer is 15.4. You could round up or down. I don't know if you're a generous tipper or not. So if you don't want to tip $15.40, so let's just say $16. I mean, mathematically, we would have to round down. Let's call it $15. If you want to be generous, you could do $16. So great, math has helped us figure out social cues, how to tip well, and how to not look like a fool in front of your date. To summarize, we use the percent formula, which is percent over 100 equals is over of. We asked ourselves, what is 15% of $103? We plugged in our numbers. 15 over 100 equals, x was a variable we did not know. This was is. And of was our check, $103. We cross multiplied and we isolated x here. And finally, we came with the conclusion that $15.4 is an admirable amount to leave your server. Thank you very much, folks. This has been a Gutierrez session, and I appreciate you for listening. Goodbye.